Well, good morning or good evening, whatever you are. Today's project is I'm going to attempt to make amethyst. I'm not sure if this is one it's supposed to be, but this is a real gemstone, and I don't know if you can see, but amethyst is it's transparent, but it does have those purple shades in different colors. So for this project, I'm gonna use melt and pour. Now, when you're working with melt and pour, there are colorants that are glycerine based, and I don't have the purple one with me, so I'm going to attempt to mix some mica powder with alcohol, because when you do try to add mica directly to melt and pour, it's very difficult to color, because when you have to stir it, and then it creates bubbles on the mix. So this is an experiment. We'll see if it works or not. Okay, so here I have the melt and pour, and some portions of it are not completely melted, and that's fine. I think that actually will work to create that inside texture that I can see on the stone. So I'm going to add a little bit of this. And try to mix it. This is just gonna give me a very fainty look. Now I have this mold. I wasn't sure what mold to use, because at the end I'm just gonna cut the shapes, so I don't think it really matters. Alright, now I'm going to add more. And then I'm just gonna add it on top of that. And then I'm gonna go darker now. And you see how the colorant is sort of suspended in it. That may actually contribute to the more authentic look of this. And I'm going to add the very last of it. And then just pour it on top of all that. So let's see what that will end up looking like. That might be too shallow. I might need more soap, more melt and pour. So I'm going to add another layer on top. I'm gonna go melt some more. Alright, I went and melted some more. I actually overheated it, and I got a bunch of foamy stuff in there, which is not good. But what to do? Usually, I think that if you overheat your melt and pour, it increases the chances of it sweating, after you've done with it. At least that's what I've read. So you see, I'm trying to mix and not having bubbles from the sulfates that they add to the melt and pour, possibly. Alright, so I'm just going to add this on top of that. And this is the melt and pour that I use. It's a Stevenson melt and pour crystal soap base, and so far I like it. I mean, when you see it here, it doesn't look like it's transparent, but it is. Now, before I was using this one, which is Nurture Soap's Low Sweat, and if you notice, it's turned somewhat yellow, and pieces that I made with this one have also turned a little bit yellow, so I'm not gonna be using that one anymore. Alright, so I put this in the fridge. It's been a few minutes. It still feels somewhat soft, but I'm gonna go ahead and pop it out because I'm curious. Alright, so it just looks like purple soap. So I'm going to, now this part might work. Don't know. I'm gonna cut it. Let's see. So the bead that I have is faceted into different random, it seems, cuts. I could leave it curved as it is right now, or I could try and do something similar. It's really optional because beads are shaped in all sorts of ways, and sometimes they're just smooth out into rounded shapes, and sometimes they're more, they have a little bit sharper edges. But most gemstones, though, because they've been polished, they're not really sharp edges. They're straight, but they're somewhat softened. So I've just been cutting this at an angle, and this is what I have. And this is my original gemstone. So this one is definitely darker, and this is more of a lighter color. So perhaps I need to add more colorant. However, the part of the soap that hadn't melted all the way, it stayed white, and it has created a similar effect to the one from the original gemstone. So out of my first attempt, I got 2 beads, or 2 stones. My second attempt would be to melt this, add some more colorant to make it darker, perhaps add some black, a little bit of a black oxide pigment powder, and mix it with alcohol. And then I'm going to melt some that I'm not going to color in a different container. So here we have it. Attempt number 3 on making the purple amethyst stones. I started by putting just clear uncolored melting pot, and I melted the second attempt results, and not all of it got melted. So, and I'm going to just add it a little bit. I don't know if you can see, since this mold is sort of dark, but it's sort of floating on it, and that's what I'm going to leave it. So I added the purple. I did a close-up shot. Hopefully that was better. And now I'm gonna top it off with the more clear. And this part that's become hard, I'm going to incorporate it. It's not hot. It's just warm. So I'm going to add it. Perhaps that will give me that similar look to the bead that I have. That should be it. Hopefully it's a thick enough piece. Now it's time to wait. On second thought, measuring the thickness of this, and it doesn't seem like it's gonna be a thick enough piece, so I'm going to melt some more clear melting pot and just add it on top, just to make a thicker layer. Alright, so I have unmolded the third attempt on making the amethyst. This is the one where I put the clear melting pot, then the dark purple melting pot in between, and then I added some more clear melting pot. This is what it looks like. So I'm going to cut some portions and try to shape them into like nuggets, or just uniform, or just, you know, something that looks like small gemstones. So far this side looks quite good, It does resemble a little bit a gemstone. So I'm just gonna cut them. I don't want to do a uniform shape, actually, more of a random shape. And I'm just cutting at angles. I think I like how this one turned out. I think this is the one that looks the most like an amethyst because of the color variation. It's just not uniform, it's very random. This is the first one from the first attempt. The second attempt, I don't think I saved any. I melted it all back. And then let's look at the actual gemstone. So the color is closer here. I knew I wasn't gonna get something identical, but I'm quite happy with this one. Some areas seem to have a darker tone, like on that case on the back, and it's also you can see through it, and yet there's still some opaqueness inside. So I hope you like this, and I hope you find a project in which you can use this. Bye.